Good evening. Our top stories tonight. President Bola Tinubu is asking African leaders to be strategic and make deliberate efforts to address exodus of skills and talent from the continent. National Judicial Council recommends Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun to President Bola Tinubu for appointment as Chief Justice of Nigeria. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu launches Lagos Revenue Portal to simplify and streamline all revenue payments for residents. Ceasefire talks resume as gathered death toll from Israeli attacks rises. Do join us shortly for more news. And thanks for joining us. I am Joshua Murakinyo. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Equatorial Guinea on a 3-day working visit with calls for peace and unity in Africa. Speaking at a dinner organized in his honor by President Teodoro Mbasogo of Equatorial Guinea, President Tinubu says Africa must take charge of solving its own problems. President Tinubu and his host had held talks and signed agreements in various areas, including petroleum and security sectors. President Tinubu urged African leaders to prioritize peace, stability, and progress, saying the time is now to take action.
It is Africa that must solve its own problem. They want Africa wretched and raggedy, full of conflicts, antagonism of one another. But we are saying no. Peace, stability, and democracy is the way forward for a progressive development. And we agreed on that.
President Tinubu also identified the brain drain and talent loss Africa faces due to poverty, archaic judicial systems, and tribalism, emphasizing that these issues must be addressed to foster development. On his part, President Mbasogo expressed gratitude to his Nigerian counterpart for accepting his invitation to visit Equatorial Guinea, hailing the strong relations between both countries. He appreciated the growing cooperation between Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea in education, mining, hydrocarbons, trade, defense, agriculture, and investment sectors. He praised Nigeria's extensive experience in agriculture, trade, tourism, and economic development, and expressed his desire for a mutually beneficial exchange of experiences between both countries. Now, the federal government of Nigeria has accused a Chinese company, Zhongzhang Funsheng Industrial Investment Co. Limited, of subterfuge after a French court ruled in favor of the firm and granted the seizure of presidential jets belonging to the Nigerian government. Presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga alleged that the Chinese firm is trying to take over offshore assets of the federal government of Nigeria through subterfuge. In the dispute involving an arbitration award, the court in Paris ruled in favor of the Chinese firm, allowing it to seize 3 presidential jets on routine maintenance in France as security for claims in a decades-long judicial matter between the foreign company and the Ogun State government. Meanwhile, the Ogun State government faulted the process that led to the provisional attachment of 3 Nigerian-owned aircraft in France by the Judicial Court of Paris. The state government says it has already taken immediate action in partnership with the federal government to ensure that those provisional attachments are lifted quickly, even as it accused the company of reneging on the earlier discussion for an amicable resolution of the case. In 2007, the foreign firm signed a contract with the Ogun State government to manage a free trade zone but the contract was revoked by the state government in 2015. Displeased, Zhongshan initiated an investment treaty arbitration against Nigeria under the bilateral investment treaty between the People's Republic of China and Nigeria. As part of measures to combat crude oil theft in the country, the House of Representatives Special Committee on Crude Oil Theft has called for the provision of Special Intervention Fund for the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps and the Nigerian Customs Service. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Alhassan Doguwa, gave the recommendation in Abuja during the committee's hearing with the aforementioned security agencies. While expressing that the NSCDC has a crucial role of protecting the country's critical assets and infrastructure across Nigeria, Honorable Doguwa noted that the security agencies lack support to carry out their constitutional mandate. The NSCDC Deputy Commandant General Philip Ayuba, while reeling out the Corps mandates, further disclosed that the Corps has not been able to access the Special Intervention Fund for any agency to fully carry out its constitutional functions. In the same vein, the Controller Nigeria Customs Service, who was represented at the hearing by Oloyede Adekunle, Assistant Controller Customs, said they have not been receiving assistance from any establishment to carry out their assignments. The National Judicial Council has recommended Justice Kudirat Kekereekun to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for appointment as the Chief Justice of Nigeria. NJC spokesman Soji Oye said the decision was taken following the Council's 106th meeting presided over by the CJN Justice Olukayode Ariwola. He said the meeting was held on August 14 and 15 in Abuja, just 7 days before the retirement of Justice Ariwola as the CJN. Justice Olukayode Ariwola was appointed as the CJN on September 21, 2022 by former President Muhammadu Buhari. He is billed to bow out on August 22 when he will attain the mandatory retirement age of 70. Already, the Supreme Court currently has a full complement of 21 justices. In the long tradition of the Apex Court, the next most senior justice will likely step in. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has launched the Lagos Revenue Portal to help Lagos simplify the state's revenue administration. The governor says the initiative will help digitize revenue collection, positioning Lagos as a model for other states in the Federation. Adetola Kayode reports.
Revenue generation is the bedrock and foundation that galvanizes a nation's economy and to help deliver more dividends of democracy to the people, building physical, social infrastructure to upgrade the skills of the people. The Lagos State government has launched the Lagos Revenue Portal, LRP, to expand tax base, explore new revenue streams, strengthening tax administration, and optimize existing processes, leveraging technology. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says this innovation is one more step closer to the Greater Lagos agenda, promoting culture of accountability in revenue collection, collecting it in a friendly manner with full accountability.
The Lagos Revenue Portal is more than just a platform. It is a game changer. It is designed to streamline our payer enumeration process. It is a system that will make it easier for individuals and businesses to comply fully with their constitutional obligation, which is their tax obligation. By simplifying this process, we're removing whatever barriers that we have. Barriers for compliance, we're removing it, which we believe that in turn it will boost our revenue base. But more than that, we're promoting a culture of accountability and transparency in revenue collection.
It makes business easy to do in Lagos. So our non-tax revenue will be easy to understand and identify. So it stratify our data per sector. So anybody, the Chairman House Committee on Transportation, the governor, anybody can just say, I even want to know all the revenue that comes in through transportation. We must all plug in here to make sure that we can have access to our data anywhere in the world.
Mr. Governor enjoined citizens to embrace and own the portal as part of a broader vision in making Lagos a truly smart city.
The Lagos Revenue Portal is our testament that believe that good governance is about making life easier for its people. It's about removing obstacles, it's about creating opportunity and ensuring that every Lagosian can participate in the progress of our state.
Aside the unveiling of the LRP by Governor Sanwo-Olu, there was a presentation and live demo of the portal exhibiting key features of the website. Adetola Kayode, OTV News.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has unveiled a certified accreditor program where consultants in the built environment are engaged to certify new and existing structure fit for human habitation. Speaking at the second edition of the Mega Public Sensitization Forum organized by the Lagos State Building Control Agency, Mr. Governor says it is in line with the state's zero tolerance for building collapse and making Lagos a sustainable, resilient and attractive to businesses. Adekola Hasrop has more. It's a fact that when building collapse, more artisans lose their lives than other personnel in the build sector, hence the need for more safety measures at project sites. To reduce building collapses, which often result in avoidable loss of lives and properties, the state government is introducing Certified Accreditors Program, where private practitioners and professionals in the build sector will complement government effort in inspecting and monitoring of buildings for compliance.
We aim to engage not only industrial professionals, but also our community members who are involved in property development, especially our mothers who specialize in trading and constantly engage the service of developer in handling their project. As previously mentioned, the government has introduced a certified accreditor program to further regulate the industry.
In his keynote address at the second edition of Mega Public Sensitization Forum, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu says the move is aimed at tackling incessant building collapses by ensuring effective coverage of the built ecosystem in Lagos State.
The engagement of all major stakeholders in the built environment is essential. And so that's why in this gathering here today, I'm sure there are members of Nigerian Institute of Architects, there are members of Nigerian Society of Engineers, there are members of Nigerian Institute of Building and other professions, mechanical and electrical engineers, civil engineers, and we believe that your responsibility is to design and to ensure that you supervise the various construction stages, once you're out there on the field.
The governor further stresses the need for artisans and developers to comply with the state building laws and obtain necessary government permits before and during construction and even at completion of building projects.
It's critical that we enforce our building regulations to prevent illegal, unsafe, and properly constructed buildings that put Lagosians at great risk.
So what we have done is to ask the allied professionals on the outside, as a BU, a town planner, a structural engineer, a civil engineer, a mechanical engineer, an architect, a builder, we have called on them to come together in groups of at least 6 as a consortium to come and help us with what you call state certification. So they will be licensed in all the 57 districts of Lagos, checking all these sites for us, helping us to do some of our work. There are some of the work that they cannot do. They will not do monitoring for us. We will still continue to do monitoring in smaller groups.
It's a platform that brings together all the stakeholders in the built environment to discuss and talk about issues and discuss about the perspective of building regulations and its compliance in Lagos State government.
The seminar, with the theme Professionalism Across Board in the Built Environment, is not just to ensure top-notch built sector, but to also achieve the Themes Plus agenda on safe environment for all. The agency is collaborating with the National Emergency Management Agency ready to define and educate critical stakeholders on their responsibility in responding to flood. Permanent Secretary Lasema Femi Okeosanyitolu says the program is to be proactive in order to protect lives and property. Maobu Josu reports.
Lagos has always been vulnerable to flood disaster, posing threats and damages to affected property owners. As a responsive and responsible agency, the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency is collaborating with the National Emergency Management Agency to prepare ahead to avert the effects of flood by engaging religious leaders, members of community development associations, and emergency responders.
We are on top of all the challenges, that we have put everything that is necessary to put in place. We have done what we call risk analysis, resource mapping. We've carried out a lot of simulation exercises. We defined our roles and responsibility, and we have charged our people that they should be prepared.
It's a paradigm shift from response to now mitigation. So because of that, we need to go to all these communities to enlighten them, to tell them what they are doing to contribute to flooding in their communities. You know, whenever we have flooding, you have people, the general public calling on LASEMA, calling on NEMA to come and assist to respond to the flooding. But now we want there to be a reduction in the occurrences of flooding in our communities.
Some of the stakeholders advocate support for the tiers of government and stop employing the services of cat pushers who dump refuse indiscriminately.
We all know that waste management is very essential, because if you are unable to manage your waste very well, it can cause a lot of things. And part of it is it can cause a lot of disease and it can cause a lot of problems in your community. So we want to encourage our members on various ways of managing their waste. The issue of having waste bin in all the houses. The Lagos State government introduced some time ago, but the amount of money we have to pay was very high. For each of the waste bin, we have to pay, the community household to pay about 50,000 naira. And to us, it's on the very high side.
Waste management starts not with Lagos State government, with me. It starts with you. It starts with everybody. So if we have waste management plan for our offices, definitely, you know that we're in collaboration with Lagos State government.
Themed enhancing proper waste management and flood response mechanism, participants are expected to take the message of waste and flood management to the grassroots. Maugbe Josu, LTV News.
The Office of the First Lady of Lagos State has finalized a selection of 200 participants to partake in the nationwide farming competition for first-time female farmers. Lagos First Lady Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu at a press conference and seminar organized for the selected Lagos participants notes that the program under the Renewed Hope initiative by the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, aims to promote the culture of home farming across Nigeria. She emphasizes the importance of home farming as a tool for economic empowerment, food security, and environmental sustainability.
Garden competition aimed at promoting home farming comes at a critical time when food prices are soaring across our country and beyond. Her Excellency, Distinguished Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON, rightly believes that embracing home farming will bring much needed relief to many Nigerians at this time in our nation.
Coming into this program, you've automatically become a farmer. Now you are farming in your backyard. You may not be tilling the ground like Haiti Wapa said. It may just be sacks where you plant your yam tubers and what have you. So when I say great farmer, you shout back and say what? So we have farmers. Are you sure you are first-time farmers? That is the requirement for this program.
This is a stepping stone for you to start your own farming. You never can tell. Before you know it, one of you can be a mechanized farmer. It is a right step in the right direction.
Dr. Sanwo-Olu highlights the criteria as outlined by the Office of the First Lady of Nigeria to select the contestants across the 5 divisions of the state.
Are eligible to participate. Interested participants must be first-timers. Some, when they were filling the forms, we discovered that they were not first-timers. At the end of the day, we decided that we will use the questionnaire to determine who are the first-timers and who are the experienced farmers.
Any society that does not know the number of people that is planning for is already planning to fail. Lagos does not want to fail. The So I would like to take the message out there that people should go and obtain LASA card. It's all free. Nobody is paying anything for it. But the advantages, they are great. All of the things that the government is doing will depend on data.
Dr. Sanwo-Olu says in addition to the 20 million naira star prize for the overall winner across the country, the Office of the First Lady of Lagos State will provide consolation prizes for each of the 200 first-time farmers and another 50 experienced participants. Still ahead. World Health Organization declares monkeypox surge in Africa a global public health emergency. That's in a moment. Stay with us. Glad to have you back. The House of Representatives Committee on Basic Education and Services has grilled the head of National Office of the West African Examination Council, Nigeria, Josiah Dangote, over a 6 billion naira deficit the agency incurred in 2023. The committee also grilled the examination body over a loan of 5 billion naira it got in 2022 for the purchase of customized calculators. Dangote, who appeared at the investigative hearing in Abuja with the WAEC Registrar, Angus Okeleze, Senior Deputy Registrar, Victor Odu, Acting Director of Finance, Shegun Jerume, Deputy Director of Finance, WAEC, provided the cash book of the council to the committee, but the House committee declined, insisting that it must submit its bank statement. The WAEC boss, Dangote, pleaded with the lawmakers to give him another date to enable him present a statement of account and other documents demanded. Following the unsatisfactory response by the WAEC representatives, the committee described WAEC as uncooperative and must be held accountable. It therefore resolved that WAEC must submit all its bank statements from 2018 till date within a week. One-day seminar on the need to come up with recommendations and solutions to reduce out-of-school children and ensure inclusive education in Lagos has been held. At the seminar, the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board highlights several reforms by the state government to ensure children stay in school. We have details in this report.
Gathering of educationists and stakeholders in Nigeria's education sector, both from the public and private sector, is to deliberate and propose solutions to the menace of out-of-school children and the threat it poses to national development. While it is agreed that the Lagos state government has been at the forefront of policies and initiatives to reduce the number of out-of-school children across the state, these educationists still believe more can be done.
The mantra of SUBEB, that leave no child behind, that is education is for all. And government is aware that they cannot do it alone. So that is why we involve all the stakeholders. And if you look at the Project Zero that the government is financing, it's involving everyone.
Our organization that are school-based and community-based. So we are engaging all the community people in order to make sure that we bring back all the out-of-school children in the school. When you look at it, that there is a thing that go viral of recent that the Lagos state government accompanied. The SBMC have made sure that those children, we brought them back to school and they are all in the school for now.
A lot of these children are being left behind, and that is why we are trying to advocate for inclusive education. And today's conversation, you know, it's an eye-opener. It made us to see that a lot of these children, there are a lot of, you know, barriers, there are a lot of, you know, obstacles that is making them not to, to get that opportunity that other children have. And that is why we are going to, still continue to have this conversation, because it's very important for us to advocate for inclusive education in everything that we are doing.
The Education Summit with the theme Leave No One Behind also avails an opportunity for these stakeholders to call for more focus on inclusive education, especially for children living with disabilities.
Bearing in mind that there are children with disability, those that cannot, that are not mobile. There is need for schools to have ramps. There is need for us to have teaching resources that addresses children with disability. And more importantly, there is also need for the girl child to be included.
The policy statement from here is to have more private sector collaboration.
To raise awareness about the threat of environmental silt and its impact on climate change, students of Lagos State University of Science and Technology, Ikorodu, embarked on environmental protection awareness to encourage renewed public commitment to protecting the earth. Ikorodu Bureau Chief Adesegun Igop reports.
Campaigns on protecting the environment have had a significant impact on increasing public awareness on environmental issues. Students of Lagos State University of Science and Technology, LASUSTech Ikorodu, are ensuring that the message continue to make impact on the environment.
This is coming from the depth of the knowledge we already incurred right from time in the school. That is concerning the environment. We have learned through the period we spent here that we have to keep the environment well so as to keep it safe for the future use. So we are trying to key into the sustainable use of the environment. That is why we have decided to go out, pick garbages on the street to make the environment clean and okay.
Feel with the little way we can impact and change people's life. That is the rural sociology as a whole. It's going to give them the initiative that this is a useful thing to sustain the environment, helps in relieving the climate change, because all these unbiodegradable products can affect the climate as a whole.
Vice Chancellor of the institution, Professor Olumiwa Odusoya, addressing the students, notes that environmental protection is an important milestone, an effort to mitigate climate change and to promote biodiversity conservation. He affirms the institution's commitment to promoting quality education.
It's a good initiative. It's brilliant. It shows that we have students who are responsible, who are imbibing the positive traits and culture we want them to have. And they also intend to give back to society. So it's something we support fully, and it shows that the nation and our state has a very bright future in these excellent students of our university. We are committed 100%, spirit, soul, and body. Staff, students, the community, the governor. We are committed to this vision of excellence.
The students' initiative on community awareness on environmental protection is to mark LASUSTech's first Students' Union Week, amongst other activities.
Our school, being a university that is looking forward to the excellence of students in all we do, we plan in order to at least impart the students, give them one knowledge or the other. So it is a blockchain literacy program, and that will also move us into the digital world and help us to understand what blockchain is all about.
Every student as a whole has to participate in this, because being a graduate is not all about academic excellence. It also goes along with some social activities and extracurricular activities. So with all this and all other students coming in, it's going to facilitate them in some other things, in communicating and living a standard life.
The call to verify and reflect on habits and behavior towards environmental protection is of utmost importance in keeping the environment safe. Adesegun Igop, LTV News.
Thank you, Adesegun, with the Busa as well. The World Health Organization has declared the monkeypox surge in Africa a global public health emergency and raised an alarm over the worsening situation. The WHO called a meeting of experts to study the outbreak and make a recommendation to the United Nations Health Agency's Director General, Tedros Ghebreyesus. The UN Director General says the World Health Organization is committed in the days and weeks ahead to coordinating the global response, working closely with the affected countries and leveraging on the ground presence to prevent transmission, treat those infected and save lives.
And rapid spread of a new clade of Mpox in eastern DRC
its detection in neighboring countries that had not previously reported mpox, and the potential for further spread within Africa and beyond is very worrying. In addition to other outbreaks of other clades of mpox in other parts of Africa, it's clear that a coordinated international response is essential to stop these outbreaks and save lives.
The decision comes after the African Union's health watchdog declares its own public health emergency over the growing outbreak. Mpox has swept through the Democratic Republic of Congo, where the virus formerly called monkeypox was first discovered in humans in 1970. Local Security Joint Task Force, including the Odua People's Congress, has emphasized the need for collaboration to ensure lasting peace and stability in Nigeria. At an interactive session with journalists, they stressed the consolidating security operational successes across the country is a technical operational strategy for future endeavors.
Cultural organization is a major milestone in Nigeria's history. Today, has transited to become a global phenomenon. The Yoruba Social Cultural Organization has lived beyond the expectations of many and has been able to weather the storm.
Highlighting the over 3 decades significant synergy, they agreed that there must be remarkable progress in safeguarding the nation's interest with focus on current challenges.
The government that meant the Southwest state governors would involve him officially in seeing to the security of Yoruba land. Today we have many stories of our successes to tell the world, and the anniversary will surely open the doors of opportunities to the world to know how the OPC has fared in the last 3 decades.
They affirmed that local security forces are valuable allies of security agencies in ensuring the safety and security of Nigerians. If you're just joining us, you're watching Lagos Television News at 8. Coming up, Nigeria's inflation rate drops to 33.30% in July. That's in business news. Do join us again.
On Business News tonight, the National Bureau of Statistics has indicated a decline in Nigeria's headline inflation rate to 3.40% in July 2024 from 34.19% in June 2024. The development marks the first since December 2022, when it last dropped to 21.34%. According to the Bureau CPI report for July 2024, the headline inflation rate decreased by 0.79% in points in July 2024 compared to June 2024. A breakdown of the figures shows that on a year-on-year basis, the rate was 9.32% points higher than in July 2023, when it stood at 24.08%. This indicates an increase in the headline inflation rate on a year-on-year basis for July 2024. The Nigerian Customs Service has announced President Bola Tinubu's approval for the implementation of a 0% duty rate and value-added tax exemption on selected basic food items. Customs spokesman Abdullahi Mawada says the presidential approval was communicated through the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Olawale Edun. This policy is effective from July 15, 2024 and will remain in force until December 31, 2024. It says the move will alleviate hardship faced by Nigerians due to high prices of essential food items. It says to participate in the zero-duty importation of basic food items, a company must be incorporated in Nigeria and has been operational for at least 5 years, have filed annual returns and financial statements, and has paid taxes and payroll obligations for the past 5 years. The Lagos State government has expressed optimism about reduction in the prices of food items while appealing to more residents to increase their involvement in farming to promote self-sufficiency, job creation and food security. Commissioner for Agriculture and Food System Abisola Olusoya said this at the official flag-off and symbolic presentation of agricultural inputs and productive assets to the fourth circle beneficiaries at Ukwoba. Commissioner disclosed that about 10,000 farmers, including fishermen, aquaculture, poultry, piggery and vegetable farmers, benefited from the fourth cycle distribution of these farm inputs. She adds that the program is a collaboration between the federal and state governments and the World Bank under the COVID-19 Action Recovery Scheme.
With all of these interventions under the leadership of Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu for Lagos, we have recorded progress. There's still a long way to go, trust me, but we'll continue to support. The ministry itself, in its usual activation enterprise support program, it's also coming up with support to be given to specific clusters around specific foods, such that we see that a reduction in prices is what obtains for all Lagosians. The bottom line still ends up being the accessibility to markets. They produce and they sell at low prices to middlemen, but these foods get to the market at much higher prices, which is why we are also calling on Lagosians, on Nigerians, to please, food items, the margins being placed on them shouldn't be so excessive. The margins should be something that you and I as Nigerians and anybody at all should be able to afford. So even we, in building more markets, the idea is to get accessibility for farmers to bring produce, and as such, everyone will see a reduction in price. So these farmers will be supported with that as well, farm accessibility, market accessibility, and we hope to see the reduction that we all want to see in food.
We need to thank Governor Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu for his commitment on this project. We know that we have been committing a lot, but we need to thank him a lot for his support as well.
Farmers here appreciate the state government through FEDAMA for the positive intervention, saying that the farm inputs which are distributed free of charge would help them in their production.
Because of the feed, the produce that the farmer is going to bring out, more also is going to enhance them too. Well, my topmost advice to the beneficiary is that whatever has been given them today, 1, they should not sell it. 2, they should use it judiciously.
Improve our business, because if we are realizing about 50% before, it will be raised to 70-80% of generation of our revenue.
Well, I think it's a very positive way of enlarging the business space. Because what you are finding here when you go around is that they've taken care of several segments and sectors of the farmers. For those of us who are into fishery, what they are doing they've done for some people, they are giving them the fingerlings, and they also giving them feed that they are going to use. For some of the people, they are giving them the 3, 4, 5 mm, which is the level at which we are getting to the higher level of those things. They also do the same thing for people that are into poultry. They are giving them cage, giving them day old chicks and the food. So all of these things definitely will empower people and encourage them to be able to do so much and then bring more food to the community.
Some of the farm inputs distributed to the farmers include 32,750 fish juveniles, 4,740 bags of poultry feed, 61,500 day-old chicks, 1,004 bags of fertilizers, 596 kilograms of vegetable seeds, 2,198 bundles of fishing nets, 72 canoes, 351 liters of agrochemical, and 25 water tanks. And that's it on Business News Tonight. We'll now leave you with graphic details of trading on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The Youth Alive Basketball Initiative has drawn commendations from stakeholders following the conclusion of the league and championship finals decided at the Mobolaji Johnson Sports Arena, Royal Park, Yaba. The highly successful 2024 season, which ran for 5 months, witnessed intense competition in various categories, including the elite, light elite, under 14, 12 and 10, as well as the girls tournament. The well-attended closing ceremony to draw curtains on this year's event attracted dignitaries including basketball greats who lauded the developmental initiative for what it has achieved in the last 17 years.
The essence of this is to really bring these young men out of the street. Bring them out of the street to really continue to do the right thing. You can see for 17 years, it's no joke. We've been providing for the country, good ball players all the years round.
Very okay for the beginners as far as basketball is concerned. This is the 17th edition. We are praying that the 18th edition will be more better than this by the grace of God.
While acknowledging the impact of the basketball initiative, founder Deep Bond Global Sports, Badeola Tono, says the Youth Alive program has been a model for sports development in Nigeria, serving as a vital platform to nurture upcoming players.
I'm very excited that God has been helping us to do the needful as far as this developing this youth, creating a platform for them to showcase their talent, and they are growing and they are doing well in life.
Olatono acknowledged the efforts and commitment of participating clubs and academics, stating that the coaches have been pivotal to the growth and achievement of the league.
We've been working tirelessly, grooming these children from age 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, they are nurturing them, giving them the fundamental skill that is required. So we just offer a platform for them where they are going to showcase the talent and to also test how well they've been training these children in the right direction.
Mark Spencer Basketball Academy emerging champions of the female category, beating War Queens in the final. Team captain Aisha Remo and head coach Mark Spencer Akwan ascribed the team's success to hard work and togetherness.
Because we won twice, that does not mean we should lack. We cannot lack anything, because those our office, they are also training harder, so we have to train harder. So back to back, we are there.
You know, they are ladies. You have ups and downs, ratification of girls fighting each other. The tension was very intense, but we scaled through. And I'm happy for them that they can actually bond as a team to win this again.
In other categories, Ravens Basketball Academy won the light elite and Deep Bond in March champions of the elite after defeating Comets in the final. Coaches and officials have commended the ongoing National Junior Tennis Championship aimed to enhance players' development and help the country discover more talents. The 5th edition of Adewale Issa Foundation Junior Tennis Championship witnessed massive turnout of youngsters who are competing in various categories, including under 12, 14 and 16 boys and girls. Over 200 players from 20 states across the country are competing in the week-long tournament, making it the biggest national junior tennis event in terms of participation. The scholarship offered has been a motivation for the kids, as winners of under 12 boys and girls will be rewarded with training tour to the United States of America.
It's more like an improvement tournament, so that when you reach a certain age, you move up. The more you move, the more you improve. That's how great this tournament is for most junior tennis players.
It exposes them to life of professional tennis, exposes them to a lot of other opportunities. But this very tournament is unique in the sense that winners of this tournament have the opportunity to go to American scholarship. So that's why this is unique.
One of the tournament's promoters, Nuruddin Issa, expressed excitement with the achievement of the national championship, which was moved to Lagos in 2022 after the first 2 editions were held in Kaduna. Issa added that the family of the late tennis icon is committed to ensuring that junior players have the platform to develop talent, while lauding the collaborative support of the Nigerian Tennis Federation.
We encourage every other person that's out there to look into helping these kids, get the best out of their tennis. Especially if there's, let's imagine there's 12 of this type of tournament in a year. Every month they go from one tournament to the other, that's going to really help them.
The AIF Junior Championships will climax on Saturday, August 17 at the table tennis section of the National Stadium, Surulere.
Glad to have you back. Gaza's health ministry says more than 40,000 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks since October 7, with many more buried under rubble and threatened by illness. This is as the U.S. and Israel have sent delegations to Qatar for ceasefire talks that resumed today, while Hamas has told mediators it is willing to meet after the discussions to determine if there is a serious response from Israel to truce proposals. Nobody is expecting a breakthrough today, and ceasefire talks are expected to go on at least through Friday and possibly last for days. While both sides have agreed to the outline proposed by U.S. President Biden, that is a three-phase agreement, Hamas is not present at these talks, as it says is not interested in talks that allows Israel to continue fighting. The first phase of the deal would be a temporary truce during which Hamas will release women, the elderly and wounded captives in exchange for Palestinians held in Israeli prisons. The second phase would include a permanent end to hostilities and the release of all remaining Israeli captives, while the third phase would be the reconstruction of Gaza. Let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Just before go, a quick look at our major stories. President Bola Tinubu has appealed to African leaders to make more strategic and deliberate efforts to address exodus of skills and talent from the continent. National Judicial Council has recommended Justice Kudirat Kekereekun to President Bola Tinubu for appointment as Chief Justice of Nigeria. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has launched Lagos Revenue Portal to simplify and streamline all revenue payments for residents. On the foreign scene, we told you that ceasefire talks resume as Gaza death toll from Israeli attacks increases. For more news, connect with Lagos Television on these social media platforms. Free line 767 or 112 in case of emergencies. On behalf of the production team, I am Joshua Murakinyo saying continue to stay safe and good night.